I'm Jean Munson.
Okay. I'm Gina Parham.
I'm Nicole Espinoza.
This is here in the button section, my friends.
So, organizers of the Comic Zines Las Vegas Fest.
Also
First,
Cozy,
yeah, also known as Cozy. What did you think of the event?
I think it was a pretty good turnout, you know, like a lot of people came out, like so much like talent and different kinds of like people, like poetry and like comics, what have you, like I think it was a pretty good turnout.
I'm really happy about the attendees, not just the Zinesters who tabled, because they're really receptive to new content, and you don't see that in a lot of places.
Yeah, I think that the people who appreciate zines and the content creators are here. We just have never had the space or could get ourselves organized enough to meet up and to do business. Yeah.
And so, do you three create zines of your own?
Yes,
Plug in, please.
So I'm part of a small comics press company called Plotz Publishing, so we make mostly anthology zines, comic zines.
Oh, I make comics also. So I get my comics printed with Jean's company, Plotz Publishing, and most of my comics I post on Art of Gina, my Instagram account. So my ongoing, I guess, comic right now is Your Barista Hates You, and it's about my like experience like with customer service and like working with the public and stuff. And I think people have really liked that comic, like not to like flex or anything. But
No.
People,
Will you flex already?
Yeah.
People like to read.
A shameless plug-in right now. Plugins.
So yeah, I think people have related to that, and like I think what you've said before, Jane, like it's given some people a voice and like kind of put like words like to that like frustration with like the general public and stuff like that. So I don't know, I'm pretty proud of that.
I have unfinished zines, but you can find me on Instagram at Coles McGee, and as soon as I get my shit together,
We're all
then
still
they'll be
trying to
out
get it
there.
together.
We all start that way, so there's no shame, no shade on that. What is the community like here in Vegas, and what is it that you're trying to do with this artistic community you're trying to build?
I think it's very small right now, but what I think of it is just people building connections and like kind of bringing each other up. So with this, how we brought this together is like posting about it and telling our friends and other zinesters that we know, like, hey, we're doing this event, come out and sell your comics and stuff like that, your comics or zines and all this stuff. So I think we really tried to like bring up like our community and our friends and our people that we think that are very talented and have a voice that should be heard. If that makes sense.
Can you repeat your question one more time?
So what is the Las Vegas community? Not necessarily the artistic community, but just the community in general. And so then why are you creating the space for the artists?
Yeah, so the art community, you know, we always get a lot of slack that there's no culture community here, and I think it's just a matter of creating and carving space and also encouraging people, because we did that in a 3-month span and people showed up for us and for themselves, and I believe that really exists here in Las Vegas, so I'm excited what's to come.
Yeah, I think with events like Cozy and the craft nights that happen with Cozy and Starshine, that we are creating space, because there is a lot. Vegas is rich in culture. It is a very transient city, but people are rooted here, and I think if there is a space where folks know exists, then it will encourage folks to build community.
Yeah, we got to see that today.
Yeah.
And I think also a lot of the people who take pictures or draw or write or whatever, they don't really think that their stuff is worth showing.
Right.
Like there's so much like talent and stuff that's just that people are just like drawing or doing their stuff like in a basement hidden and not like showing it to the world. And I think
Yeah.
Cozy is something that's like really welcoming of new stuff like that and new content and stuff.
And definitely is one of my favorite things about the zine community, like you're saying, it is an empowering effect of like your art, your words are just as valid as whatever the fuck we buy from Barnes and Nobles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With that being said, is this your 3 first Zine Fest, Zine event? Not necessarily organizing, but
Yeah.
just have you gone to other events?
I've been to like like comic conventions and like kind of mainstream like anime conventions, but actually, what kind of inspired me to get this event together, along with like Jean and Nicole, like bringing up the idea, was Comic Arts LA. So that I went to in December of
Yeah,
last year.
it's always
And
the end of the year.
Yeah, but it's like more like geared towards like comics and stuff like that. But there is still that like small press like feel to it where people like how to self-publish and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I thought that was really cool, and I was like, I want to make something like that here.
And it's
in
always
Las
very
Vegas.
small, right? Yeah,
something
definitely.
small.
Yeah.
I've been to other Zine Fests and a lot of comic conventions, and something that has always bothered me about comic conventions and like we're always trying to make money off of each other rather than really uproot and uplift each other, which we were able to witness today. So I'm really tired of this snootiness that comes with publishing your work and your ideas. So it's our first to organize, but I've been to other ones, other Zine Fests that respect that kind of attitude, and so I'm glad that it's now happening here in Las Vegas.
I am very new to zines. I've never been to a zine fest before, but I have experience with organizing other types of conventions. So I love that we are all at different points and with different experiences when it comes to publishing and art. And so I would hope that folks feel welcome to come to Cozy and don't feel, what's the word I'm looking for, like intimidated.
Right.
Because I am very much like the newbie when it comes to zines. And we all got to start from somewhere,
Yeah.
and it's never too late to start,
Right.
or never too early.
So one thing I wanted to mention is that I've gone to, I'm an old fella, I can't even count how many Zine Fest I've been to now, but what made you have the trade zine table, the take one, leave one? Because I'm be the first to say it, and I say it all the time, not enough Zine Fests
Yeah.
emphasize that. They don't care. It kind of goes back to what you were talking about of like, we're all here to make money. It loses that sense of community.
Right.
But I really felt like, I thought that was a really good show of like, we're also here just to share.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not just monetary, it's also about sharing our ideas, our art. It's about, looking through yours, you're looking through mine. Whose idea was that to begin with, and what did it spawn
It
from?
was kind of a collective idea because access means a lot to us. We knew that, it's particularly at the center, that sometimes people can't afford these things, and so we wanted people to make sure that they're at the point of introducing a zine, to loving zines, to collecting zines, and we knew that, even at the front door is by donation. Like, a lot of places they get a lot of money at the door for these events, and then there's not enough of the economy to be shared here. And everything was evenly distributed and fair for the person who couldn't afford, who was thinking about affording, and all those things.
Yeah, it's mostly just accessibility.
Yeah.
And even though zines are relatively inexpensive to make and sometimes to purchase, I think that, just we don't know where everyone's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think just to give that opportunity to someone to take something home.
Yeah.
What other events do you three do? Because I know that you said there's a comic night, you said?
Oh, the craft night. We don't
Craft
really-
night.
Well,
It's more Star Shine's thing.
yeah, that's a bit, but I think the hashtag for it is Crafty Queers LV.
yeah.
And so Starshine wanted really liked what we were doing, but wanted to help people get to the step of even making a zine, because sometimes people are like intimidated again or have anxiety. And so Starshine, who is also an anxious person, wanted to create a space in cahoots with us to, but mostly it is their work, and has just looking for space in the city to just sit and make things. And I mean, the first night that they held it, it was like a real introverted and safe bubble of making stuff, no judgments, no fake talk, just making zines and making statements. So yeah, I mean, there's that. We also have like the Vegas Valley Comic Book Festival, which is free also, which is something that some of us participate in, which was kind of part of the model that we're here, but ours is more like open and community based. Yeah.
Can we expect another one? If so, what are you all three thinking about? Cozy, where is it going? What's next?
Yeah, I'm just like down for whatever, wherever.
I'm ready tomorrow.
Yeah, we were thinking about creating a zine club or some
Yeah.
kind of. We want to next time, create more accessibility for people who can't come into town because it's expensive. So we're thinking about a zine mail-in table,
Yeah.
which someone would manage, just like the trade table. And we hope that we continue to have good partnerships with places like the center to continue to have spaces and pockets that it's not like, kill your pocket first Friday and then like, yeah. So hopefully we can continue to keep costs low and more trading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas has like a rich zine history. We have the Zine Library, the Las Vegas Zine Library. I think even Special Collections at UNLV has zines. So like we've been here.
Yeah.
So
Like that. She's like, we've been here.
Yeah. Really shout out to Jeff Greenlee because he's
Yeah.
the one who really believed in this for a long time and maintained the library. And he taught me everything he knew about zines and whatnot. And, we continue to pass the baton further.
Fight the fascists.